I'm very curious about your relationship with money. And the reason why is, so I'm a Michael Chamberlain YouTube viewer.
Yes.
Okay? I watch his YouTube channel.
Yes.
That's your dad.
Yes.
And I've heard you talk about your dad before and your relationship with your dad. And I think about growing up the kid of an artist and the viewpoint on creative work, and then the incredible complexity to commercializing creative work and monetizing creative work. And then that paired with a potential feeling of like an absence of money or scarcity of money to then in abundance. Like that is a lot of transformation and a lot of different things going on. Mm-hmm. What was that journey for you like from, growing up with your dad being an artist to then monetizing your craft at the scale that you've done it?
It has been such a fascinating, I'm glad, I don't know if I've ever, I don't remember. I'm excited to get into this. Growing up, I grew up around a lot of wealthy kids. A lot of kids who have parents that work in technology. I grew up in the Silicon Valley, a lot of money. I'm the child of an artist and in a, single mom. Very different situation. And I was so jealous. I mean, so deeply, deeply jealous. I also saw myself as less, very much so, because I was not up to speed with the other kids. In retrospect, I had such a fortunate childhood. It's unfortunate that, my environment didn't allow me to see that. Again, when you're like 12 years old, how can you... I can't be mad at myself. How was I supposed to sort that out? It's interesting. The second I started making my own money on YouTube, which was something that I didn't expect, by the way, I turned on AdSense because I was like, obviously, maybe I'll make $200 one day over the course of the next 6 months. I think it's like $200 and then you can cash it out, right? I don't know.
I don't remember. We took a really long time to turn on AdSense because we were very inspired by Casey Neistat. And
we thought it was like a brand power move.
He didn't have AdSense on for like his first 100 million views. And we were like, that's cool. We're not going to turn on AdSense.
I remember that too.
But his was just like, he just didn't do it. And we thought that was so cool that we were like,
we
cool.
just took the wrong cue.
We're not going to monetize.
Yeah.
And then we just like struggled.
I know. See, AdSense is like, in the beginning, before you can make a living off of AdSense before you do brand deals. That's what I did for so long. I didn't take brand deals for a very, very long time. I was very against it at first, actually. And I started making money on AdSense quicker than I anticipated. It just happened so fast. And it was my first time making money. And very quickly, by age 17, I was able to move out on my own dime. And I suddenly had financial freedom. I could go and buy myself things if I wanted. But I realized very, very quickly that it did not improve my life. And in fact, the amount of money that my family had growing up was enough to be happy because I had all of the things that I needed. I had everything I needed for school. I had a roof over my head. I had food. I had multiple options in my closet. Like, it was like I had a great everything. I had it already because I did research on this later down the line, and like, money only makes you happy to a point. I was already at that point growing up. I had no idea.
It typically represents something. Like the desire for money represents something.
Mm-hmm.
And we rarely develop the relationship with the term enough. Basically never, right? I actually don't even know if I've told you this, but 2 weeks ago, I stopped at a gas station to get gas. And I walked in because like the thing was broken. And I bought 3 lottery tickets. And I've never bought a lottery ticket in my life.
No.
Why?
And I bought 3 of the like Powerball ones where
Yeah.
like the prize was like $1 billion.
It was at $1 billion.
It was $1 billion.
It was
and I was just
unbelievable.
like,
I saw that.
It was a night where I was just feeling stressed. And like the reality is, and I've written about this, I'm a big like journaler, and I've written about this concept of buying a lottery ticket when you've already won the lottery, right? Like where I have my dream job, have an amazing wife, I have a great family, like I feel so grateful, but I went out and bought a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I get it.
There's a level of escapism to what you connect to this large sum of money. And then to bring that back to like being a YouTube creator, I think what's interesting is like you have your foot on the gas pedal, right? Like it's not chance. Every day you have the option to get more of it. And I think that is again, that is something that can haunt you if you don't have a relationship. Like how quickly did you recognize that you had enough?
It was almost instant, if I'm being honest. It was very fast. And
do you remember the first like AdSense check you got that you were like, oh shit, that's like, do you remember the amount?
oh, that's such a good question. I mean, I think, cashing out my first one ever, which was maybe like $200 was crazy. But I think once I hit, my parents were they could not believe their eyes when it was 10 grand in a month.
I mean, that's crazy.
They were like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, I don't know. And I say the F word in my videos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how the hell, I don't,
Like, and I didn't really talk to anyone about it.
Yeah.
It's just there.
They just sent it to me.
that was
Yeah.
when they were like, okay, something's happening. They
And
were
you're-
like,
you're 17 at the time? Or
I think 16 at that point.
16 at that point. That's crazy.
And it was like, or maybe that one was at 17. But it was definitely, I mean, again, my dad is an artist. He doesn't need a lot of money. He doesn't care about making a lot of money.
Right.
He cares about creatively fulfilling himself and also living a good life.
Yeah.
So having time outside of work to go and live a fulfilling life, right? And we have such a great relationship because he had the time to develop that with me. A lot of my friends, their parents worked so much, that's how they made so much money. They didn't have deep connections with their parents. I did. It was it all happened very fast where I realized, okay, it's not about like money's not going to do it. Money's not going to do it. I've already reached a point where I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable enough where it's not going to, I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty immediate.
Time wealth is a thing that comes, it's interesting because for me, that concept has come a lot more now after I feel like I've achieved the internal validation of making money. Like that was something that was absent from our creative journey for years.
Yeah.
Right. Money was not abundant for us. It was like, if we could make $800, we would do whatever it took to do that. Right. Out of our creativity. But as it started to, become more abundant and even like the understanding of how to make it, then you reestablish a relationship. And I think even just going back to buying that lottery ticket, which I didn't win, unfortunately. Yeah,
Right.
I actually
I had a feeling,
Yeah.
I wasn't so sure
but
where that
I
was
didn't want to say
going.
that. But
the winning ticket was sold in California,
No.
in Kern
That's
County.
exciting enough.
Yeah, which felt unfortunately just like a signal that maybe I should buy another one. I don't know, but what I realized
two this
as I
weekend.
was thinking about it was I was like, oh, I'm chasing time wealth. Money wealth is great, but you assume that those two things are connected.
Yeah.
Right? You assume that like if I make a ton more money, then I'll have a ton more time, I think. But those are not directly connected. That's like a choice that you have to make of what's your value system from, okay, if I make this money, then what do I want more of it? And maybe our YouTube brains teach us to look at numbers in a way that they should always be going up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. It's like we are trained with these quantifiable metrics next to our success. There's two of them. We look at numbers on a screen all day. One is our viewership and subscribership, and the other is our bank account or balance or whatever money is coming in. And those are just numbers on a screen that, from the video game mindset of all of this, it's like, it's more fun when those go up.
Well, can I tell you something that's insane? And I actually think that some people are going to tell me that this is very irresponsible because people could be stealing from me. I have an infrastructure in place in my life with a lot of checks and balances that allows me to never check my bank account. I have no idea how much money I have. I know what I can do and what I can't do, but I have no idea. And I have not looked in years. I have no idea.
Wow.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's safe. I mean, technically, literally, I could be being stolen from. No, nobody.
Yeah.
No, it's not that, because there's literally layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of checks and balances. People in my family that are not, like, my mom has her eyes, but then also my business manager, but then also, like, there's so many people that are.
I think we have the same infrastructure.
Yes.
Right.
But I have
Yeah.
there's family ties in there that I trust too.
That's
It's
good.
like there's so many layers so that I never have to look, because number one, because I don't want to make, number one, I don't want to know, I don't need anything beyond what I have now. Like, I have a house, I have a car, I can travel freely. That's enough. I don't need to go buy a yacht and a private jet and a helicopter, and I don't need to only own designer clothing, and I don't need, like, I don't want to know how much, because I want to feel like I'm very frugal. Like, I am very thoughtful about, like, my house is my splurge. That is the splurge of my life. Like, that's it. But, like, I don't know, it can be easy to see, like, oh, well, this money's just sitting here. Let's put it to work.
Why not one helicopter?
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't want the money to give me ideas. Does that make sense? Like, I'd rather,
that's really interesting. Yeah.
do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's, I'm living as though, it's such an interesting, it's like a game I'm playing with myself almost.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see, like, I don't need to know. I don't know.
That's
if that's
fascinating.
That feels like
Do you
a
know
response.
on like a deal to deal basis though? You know what's coming in. Yeah. So you have enough of a mind to be like, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can buy coffee every day. I'm fine. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is like, when I did this exercise of like, how much do I actually want to make? Because you get into this career and you're like, I just want to make as much money as possible.
Of course.
Right? And then that's just an open-ended kind of goal that's kind of crazy. So I had to write it down. And when I wrote down what I spend money on every day and was really ambitious with that, it was so attainable. It was insane. Like, I was like, I just want to get a coffee every day without guilt. I want to buy lunch every day without guilt. I want to live in a nice neighborhood and be able to pay rent or a mortgage there. And then I want to be able to travel.
Yeah.
And I don't even travel that much. So I was like, this is pretty ambitious and it is super attainable.
Yeah.
And that exercise, I think, is just so not done with us that I really would push a lot of creators to do that exercise.
100%. Because I'm fortunate that I've been able to figure out a way where I don't need to have my eyes on this total, right? Like, I know how much I am very involved in the negotiating of the deal. But after it's sealed, it's like, I don't think about it again.
We know your tactics.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll do this for free.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. We do not do this for free.
Yeah.
But, see, that's what's so funny about me. Like, I'm not doing things for free.
Yeah.
But also, there are things that I like do for free. Like with Chamberlain Coffee, I don't cash out of that. Like I don't take a salary. I refuse, which is very, very lucky, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like not everything that I do has to make me money, but some things have to make me money.
Of course. And that's also your work, like your value as a brand. And,
Yep.
and again, as creators, sometimes you have self-worth issues, you know, and like your imposter syndrome when it comes to that. But that's what you've built. And like that is your business.
I think though, like
Yeah.
what you said about not letting money dictate ideas is really
It's
important,
really important,
no matter
yeah.
what size of creator you are. And of course, there are times where like money is going to dictate some of the idea as you're trying to pay your bills. But I do think it's really important, even if you're a smaller creator, like sometimes getting a job is the best way to actually become a professional creator.
Totally.
Right? To like keep money out of the equation.
Out of the creative equation.
Out of the
for sure.
creative equation,
Yeah.
because that is actually everything. Like when you started,
Yes.
money was not in the equation, and you were able to create something very unique that people couldn't get anywhere else, and that's where money came in,
Yeah.
right? And you want to stay in that pocket just for your self-worth of trying to give people something they can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be dictated by money.
Like there's a few sort of things that have come up over the years where the money has been unusually, whoa, like that's a lot.
Yeah.
And but it was so, it's so not me. It's just not me. And you know, there's always a little like that's a lot. Like but I've gotten to a point now where, and again, this is a very fortunate place to be in, but where I'm like, you could raise that to, you could triple it, and I can't do it. I just can't. Because I think the reason why I've been able to get to that point is because I know how it feels to stand firm and to only do deals that are right for me and my brand. That is such a fulfilling feeling to me. And it's the only way to make brand deals feel fulfilling for me.
It's also the best path to like a long career.
Well, that too. Because there definitely are two ways. Like, you know, I don't judge those who are like, I'm going to cash out and get out.
Yeah.
See, that was never an option for me, though. I never was like, cash out, get out. Which is funny because I feel like I have the personality to cash out and get out because I wouldn't mind living a private life again at some point. So it's like that's not like my worst nightmare.
That ship has sailed for the time being, right?
I don't want to cash out